That you had some experiences with the Royals whilst you were in the force?
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, the Queen went to Scarborough in 1976, I think it was, and everyone had their rest days counted and everything. I was actually as a probationer, I was on a traffic attachment, and they forgot about me, so I was about the only police officer not working. So I saw the Queen go around, and then quite a few years later, I was involved. Charles went down to a village, which I've just forgotten the name completely of now, above Rundwick Bay, and I was walking behind him. Again, on traffic management, I was involved with Prince Philip coming. I had to find out where he could land his helicopter. Fantastic bloke, didn't want any sort of fuss at all. About 2 or 3 months after, I had to do the same with Andrew, and he wanted everything. But back in would it be the early 80s, late 70s, it's still called the new bridge at Whitby, because all there was a swing bridge across the River Esk at Whitby, and so they put the new one in. Princess Anne come to open it, and it was winter time, and we had to do an escort for her. I was in a Range Rover, police Range Rover. There was an officer in a marked, I think it was a Vauxhall Vectra, and she was in a big limousine, and the snow started.
Oh no!
And she was going to Castle Howard, so we was going over towards Pickering, and we started out, and we got to Slights, and Blue, the bank that comes down into Slights, says, "No way we're going to get the limousine up there. No way at all." Decision was made. She was going to travel in my Range Rover.
Wow.
So I get out thinking. There were only 2-door Range Rovers, so I get out to move the seat forward, thinking obviously she'd bring her escort with her, her armed escort. She'd sit in the back. Escort was sitting in the front with me. Oh no, escort went in the back. She sat in the front with me. And we drove up there, and I said, well, if we really do get stuck, I know that Farningdale's got snowcats, and we'll have to get them out, and we'd end up at Farningdale's. It was rather a hair-raising journey, but we got over the tops and dropped down towards Pickering, where the roads got a lot better. And she was very chatty, and we was coming towards Castle Howard, and she said to me how long you'd been on, and I'd been on for quite some time. She said, have you had anything to eat? I said, well, I had a sandwich quite early on. Oh, well, don't go away. So we pulled up outside Castle Howard, she got out. The next thing, I was ushered in to have a hot meal in there.
Wow,
Bloody
that's
hell.
amazing.
Yeah, that's a perk there, isn't it? Yeah.
That's because as a traffic officer, well, not all traffic officers, but I was authorised to drive royalty. I could drive everything up to the Queen. Never did, but
The option was there for that. Yeah.
Was that quite daunting when you were in the car and you could see the snow and she came and sat next to you as well? Was that a bit of a scary experience?
Well, I'm not expecting it to be there. I mean, and you've got the 4x4, and thankfully it was soft snow, because people think 4x4s can go anywhere, but if you get ice, you've got a big heavy lump of machinery, and whether you've got one wheel driving or 10 wheels driving, you're going to slide.
Yeah, that's it.
But with soft snow, it was ploughing its way through. Yeah.
How much is the security actually turned up when someone that high profile comes to town? Because I imagine that obviously you mentioned they have like the Royals or a celebrity would provide for themselves. How much do the police actually need to provide? Is it a really big operation?
Local police, there is a certain amount of involvement. They have the Royals, or like the Prime Minister, have their own security. So that will come with them. Or in the case of, like, if they're coming in by helicopter, then their part of their own security team will be where they're landing.
Right.
And then take it from there until, if they go off the helicopter, then when it lands at the other end, there will be the security team there, unless it can land in somewhere like Buckingham Palace Gardens or something like that, So there is a certain amount of involvement. If you're talking about things that are going into somewhere like the Spa at Scarborough, then that place is swept top to bottom, and everywhere is sealed up with security seals. Any doors that people don't need to go through, they're sealed up. There's no litter bins left in there. They'd use a rope team if necessary to look at places which you can't normally walk around and check. They will use a rope team to do things like that. the whole place is sealed down, and then from then on, the exterior is sealed with officers outside, and then once obviously the conference starts, you've got the check of people going in, so that's a full check again going in, and so but that's normally, I mean, nowadays they'll have these arches people walk through. That's done by private companies, but you've still got the police officers there, and so whilst if the Prime Minister's coming, he or she would have their own security detail, but they'll also be involved with local armed police as well. We'd put a sniper on the roof.
Wow.
1 or 2 snipers on the roof of the spa, things like that. And because the spa is facing the sea, there'd be a Navy patrol vessel
in case a boat
in the sea
comes to try something. Yeah, of course. I suppose essentially what you're doing is you're trying to be prepared for any possible outcome that could happen, and even if it sounds as ridiculous as a boat attack, it's a possibility. It's got to be there.
It's a possibility there. Yeah,
that's it. As anything that could be a risk. That's it. Yeah. But then there's also, I imagine, stuff where you think, come on, that's a bit excessive. Yeah. But again, it has to be
nowadays, with drones, I think that's another thing they've got to look at.
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
I know you mentioned that there was a difference between Prince Anne and Prince Andrew in terms of what they wanted. So I guess the royals can actually request extra security and extra things to be in place.
I wouldn't say it's extra security. Like Prince Philip, when he arrived, I got a phone call from his team saying we need someone to land a helicopter. So I was scratching my head. He was going to the town hall to do something at the town hall in Scarborough. Scratching my head, thinking, where the hell? So I thought, McCain's, they've got a sports field just outside Scarborough. Phoned up McCain's. Yeah, no problem. I said, well, I've been told that if you want to come down and meet Prince Philip, one couple of managers or whatever, they can do it because of. So they said, no, we're not. Don't bother. I then spoke to the team, and basically he didn't want to see any police officers in uniform. I was down there with a patrol car when he was landing, but I was kept way back. He didn't want anyone at any of the sort of junctions or anything. He had 2 vehicles. The one he was in, the 4x4 Range Rover, and his following team. He went into town. That was it. Prince Andrew wanted the lot. He wanted marked patrol car escorting. He wanted police officers at every junction. All of this, and then he actually told the chief inspector was there. I think nowadays police don't look smart. I think they look scruffy, but it's the way it's different type of work. If I was there, I'd be in a tunic. It just come in. These fleeces had come in, and the chief inspector was in the town hall when Andrew went there in his fleece. And Andrew virtually told him off for not being in a tunic. But that was his uniform.
Yeah, what do you want me to do about it?
I've got respect for Andrew for what he did in the Falklands War. Put himself at risk, but that's all I'll say.
The less said, the better. Let's leave it at that. For that one.
Thank you for watching. That was a clip from the Man Overboard podcast.
And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to click on the links down below because we're on every streaming service, and that's where you can find full episodes.
Peace.